श्री गणेश शुभकारी। ओम श्री राम कृष्ण भगवान की जय। पवन सुत हनुमान की जय। श्री अम्बे अम्बे मात की जय।
Revered Swami Swatmaramanandaji Maharaj, respected elders, sisters and brothers, Om Namo Narayanaya. On behalf of our President, Revered Swami Swatmaramanandaji Maharaj, and officials of the Center, I extend a warm and loving welcome to you to this evening satsang. I now respectfully request Revered Maharaj to deliver the discourse, followed by a rendition of bhajans.
स्थापकाय च धर्मस्य सर्वधर्मस्वरूपिणे अवतारवरिष्ठाय रामकृष्णाय ते नमः। Bowing down at the feet of Sri Ramakrishna, Mother Sharda Devi and Swami Vivekananda, accept my heartfelt namaskars to all of you. Today, all of you know that it's a sacred day. The name of this day, though it is new moon day or no moon day, Amavasya, yet it is very sacred. Why is it and what is it? What is the name of this special Amavasya? It is called Mahalaya Amavasya. It will be the end of Pitrupaksha and beginning of Matrupaksha, that is the Navaratri, when Divine Mother is worshipped. So in Bengal, from today itself, the worship of Mother Durga will begin. Now we should know what is this Pitrupaksha, what is this worship of the ancestors, how is it connected with our religion, how is it connected with our spirituality. Swami Vivekananda, in his complete works, in the chapter, The Necessity of Religion, he tells, two theories have gained some acceptance amongst modern scholars. One is the spirit theory of religion. The other, the evolution of the idea of the infinite. Again, I will repeat it. Two theories have gained some acceptance amongst modern scholars about religion. One is the spirit theory of religion, and the other, the evolution of idea of the infinity. One party maintains that ancestor worship is the beginning of religious ideas, all the religious ideas. So it is the mother, it is the basis of all religious ideas. Later on, this ancestral worship developed into higher form of worship, and we can see all the Upanishads and all the higher aspect of spirituality. So that is opined like that. And One party, if it maintains that ancestor worship is the beginning of religious ideas, Swami Vivekananda tells the other party, the other group of scholars, they tell that religion originates in the personification of the powers of the nature. Water, it can destroy, it can serve you. So they personify water as Varuna Devata, rain god, or the sea god, or even Ganga. So personification. Vayu, see wind blow, it's blowing so speedily, you can prepare wind power, electricity, or so many other things, or also it can cause hurricane and floods and cyclone and everything. So destructive aspect, and also you can use it for some good things. So personifying and worshipping nature. So these two ideas, one is ancestral worship and another is the worship or personification of the powers of the nature. Then Swami Vivekananda continues, man wants to keep up the memory of his dead relatives and thinks they are living even when the body is dissolved, and he wants to place food for them and in a certain sense to worship them. Out of that came the growth we call religion. Studying the ancient religions of the Egyptians, Babylonians means now the present Iraq, that was the Babylonian civilization, Assyrian civilization, presently the Syria, Egypt, you know, it is north of Africa, then Chinese civilization, and many other races in America, the Red Indians, and elsewhere, and especially in Africa, you can see it is nothing but nature worship and ancestral worship. Even now, you can see the strong ancestral worship amongst the native Africans. So we find very clear traces of this ancestral worship being the beginning of religion in all over the universe. So they would think after the body is gone, they are dead, they preserve the body, or they think there is a double, the Sukshma Sharira, which we call the double, sometimes in their civilization, not in Indian, Indian portion also, it's to some extent this thought is there, but in the Egyptians, in the Assyrians, what do they think? The double or the subtle body lost all sense of love towards their near and dear ones. It frightened the living to give it food and drink in their civilization and to help it in various ways. It even lost all affection for its own children and its own wife. But amongst the ancient Hindus also, we find traces of this type of ancestral worship, and also amongst the Chinese. Most of the Chinese religion, Taoism or whichever you go, it is all ancestral worship itself. So this ancestral worship still permeates the length and breadth of the vast world, this universe. In fact, only religion that can really be said to flourish in China and other countries is that of ancestral worship. Thus, it seems on the one hand, a very good position is made out for those who hold the theory of ancestral worship as the beginning of religion. On the other hand, there are scholars who from the ancient Aryan literature shows that religion originated in nature worship. Although in India we find proofs of ancestral worship everywhere, yet in the oldest record, what is the oldest record in the Vedas, and especially that the Rig Veda, oldest records, there is no trace of ancestral worship whatsoever. In the Rig Veda Samhita, the most ancient record of the Aryan race, we do not find any trace of ancestral worship. Modern scholars think it is the worship of nature that they find in this ancient Vedas. The human mind seems to struggle to get a peep beyond the scenes. The dawn, the evening, the hurricane, the stupendous, gigantic forces of the nature, its beauties, these have exercised the human mind, and it aspires to go beyond, to understand something about them. In the struggle, they endow these phenomena with personal attributes, giving them souls, bodies, sometimes beautiful, sometimes transcendent. every attempt ends by these phenomena becoming abstractions, whether personalized or not. So also it is found with ancient Greeks. Their whole mythology is simply this abstracted nature worship. So also with the ancient Germans, the Scandinavians, and all other Aryan races. Thus, on this side too, a very strong case has been made out, and that religion has its origin in the personification of the forces of nature. But in Hinduism, in India, in our culture, you will see both these two aspects intertwining and making up that wonderful development of religions from the basis. Now, Swami Vivekananda summarizes it. Then, what is the real cause of the origin of religion? Swami Vivekananda tells these two views, that is the ancestral worship and the nature worship, these two views, though they seem to be contradictory, can be reconciled on a third basis that you can see amongst the Indians, which Vivekananda tells, to my mind, to him, is the real germ of religion. And that I propose, that's Vivekananda, to call the struggle, what is that germ of all the origin of all religion? He calls it the struggle to transcend the limitations of the senses and the body. We want to transcend this body, this senses, and become more powerful. So that struggle to transcend the limitation of our senses, our body, is the real germ, according to Swami Vivekananda, which is the origin of all religions. Either man goes to seek for the spirits of his ancestors, the spirits of the dead, that is, he wants to get a glimpse of what there is after the body is dissolved, or he desires to understand the power working behind the stupendous phenomenon of the nature. Both is, he wants to overcome his limitation of the senses and become more powerful. Whichever of these is the case, one thing is certain, that he tries to transcend the limitations of the senses. Human being cannot remain satisfied with his small, little, puny senses. He wants to go beyond them. So that is the explanation. Now we will come to see how this ancestral worship, that as it developed and developed, now became the higher form of worship. Now you will see how this is intertwined. One is we giving up the body, and there the personification of the nature. You know, the topmost God, whom we call Brahma, the creator, who creates the whole universe. Above him is Vishnu and the Shiva, all that thing. But Brahma, until that post, it is a post. Any human being, you also, any of you also can occupy that post. So after giving up the body, you are trying to transcend your limitations, and you can go up. The more punya you have, the more merit you have done, the more good deeds you have done, you can go up and up and up and even occupy that post of Brahma. Next, Indra and the gods and all that thing. So they're all human beings occupying that post. And who is the Yamaraj, god of death? You call, you are so afraid of Yamaraj, you'll be thinking, and you will be always afraid of. They tell he is the first man to die in this creation. So he occupied that post. So it's human beings, nothing else. All, so you can reconcile these two. And now, how is it connected to this Pitrupaksha? Now, our rishis and munis have found out so many great truths. In that evolution, in the process of evolution, finding out the truth to go beyond all these senses, they found out these truths. So what is this Pitrupaksha? Let us go through that and see what is this Mahalaya Amavasya. Now, you know, in amongst Hinduism, amongst the rishis and munis, we have to be grateful to so many people. We have debt. See, suppose you have taken loan from somebody, whether it is credit card company or from the bank, to give it back. Even if you die without putting the loan, they may ask your children. So even you may have to come back in another life to give back the loan. So like that, here we have debt to so many people, because we are not just our own people, from the childhood, from the womb of the mother we are growing, we are taking the help of so many things. That's why our Rishis Munis have devised, we have to give back the debt to so many people. So they have done 5 yagnas, 5 sacrifices type. What is that? The first one is Pitru Yagna. Our own ancestors, our father, mother, all these people, they've given so much, they have done so much to us. So we have to give back to them. So that's why this development of Pitru Paksha and Pitru Yagna, sacrifice to pay back their debt, is given here. They have given us so much, we have to give back. You can see here. Then there are so many other yagnas we shall not take up because that is a very huge subject. Then I will be deviating from our Pitru Paksha and other things. But I will mention what are the debts we have to clear. Rishi yagnas, rishis, the scientists, the rishis, the great saints have discovered so many truths and given to us. So we are very grateful to them. We have to give them, pay them back. How? And then teaching and propagating and maintaining the truth, the Vedas, the scriptures. So we are giving back the Rishi Rina. Then what is the other Rina? The debt we have to pay through some of the yagnas. Bhuta Yagna. So many animals, so many living beings, so many. So you see that 5 Panchabhutas. So all the living beings are called Bhuta. So we have debt to all the living beings, whether plants or anything. So we have to do the Bhuta Yagna. We have to give food to the animals. We have to take care of the animals. We have to take care of the nature, plants and everything. So the debt is there. That is called the Prakriti or the nature or the Bhuta Yagna. Then there is another debt we have to clear. Deva Yagna, the gods. Gods means not the highest god. The gods, the smaller gods, Indra, Chandra, Vayu, Varuna, were giving rain and all the other things. So we have dead things. That's called Deva Yagna. So Deva Rana, we have to give back. Like that, there are 5 debts which we have to give. So doing these sacrifices, we give them. So now let us come to this Pitru Rana, father and mother. We cannot do sufficient that we can clear off all the debt. If you go to Kashi, even if you want to know that, go to your Chrome or your Google and type the leaning temple of Shiva on the bank of Ganga in Varanasi. You'll get that picture and the detail of it. What happened? There was one king. You know, there is in India the belief that if you build a Shiva temple or if you build something very great and do some good things like hospital and name it after or dedicate it to your parents or somebody whom you love, they will get a lot of punya and that will do a lot of merit. That too, if you build temple of Shiva on the bank of Ganga in Kashi, that is they are going to get. So in that king, he has a lot of money. He built a temple on the bank of Ganga in Varanasi in the name of his mother when his mother passed away. So he felt very happy. Such a beautiful temple, you can go and see. It is slanting towards Ganga like this. Even more than the angle of slanting is even more than the leaning Tower of Pisa in Italy or somewhere. That is one of the 7th this thing of the world, isn't it? Wonders of the world. And nobody knows that in India, more better wonders are there. They don't want to see it. This tower, the bigger, taller than the leaning pillar of Pisa, the Tower of Pisa, is more slanting towards the Ganga in angle. So why did it happen? When he dedicated, consecrated this temple in the name of his mother, the king was a devoted son, cleared the debt of my mother by doing this. Immediately, the temple slanted. And he was surprised. What happened? I've done good thing to my mother. Why did this happen? Then a sound, Lord Shiva, maybe, that voice without a form told him, you have cleared the debt of your mother. Nobody can clear the debt of his mother. Whatever you do, you cannot clear. So much mother will do for you. The 9 months she bears you in the womb with so much of pain. When she delivers you, so much of pain. And so much of sacrifice the mother and father do for you all through your life. You cannot clear the debt. So that at least we can be grateful by doing something. So when they are leaving, you have to take care of them with what you call the service and other things, your father and mother, keep them happy. That is the important thing. But even after death, in their higher spheres, wherever they live, we have to take care of them. You have to give them food. So that one of the aspect of that is Pitru Rana or Pitru Yagna or Pitru Paksha. During that time, we are taking care of our ancestors. We revere them. We show our gratefulness. So that is the celebration. You can't call it a celebration, but that is the practice of Pitru. These hundreds of thousands of generations that lived on this planet before us have given us something or the other. The language we speak, the way we sit, our clothes, our buildings, our property, our life, this body, our culture, our food, everything the earlier generations have given. It has come from our generation. So, Mahalaya Amavasya or Pitrupaksha is the special period or the special day dedicated to make an offering, to express our gratitude to all the previous people, the ancestors of ours. So that is what is Pitrupaksha, and also the Mahalaya, especially the last day today, Mahalaya Amavasya. Now, why this period is chosen? As per Hindu tradition, the south celestial sphere is consecrated to the ancestors. You see, in India, in the village or in a town, the south direction is dedicated to Yama, god of death, Pitruloka, the south. So that's why so many things they don't do in the south direction in the house. That is the direction of Yama, south. So as per Hindu tradition, the south celestial sphere is consecrated to the ancestors, Pitru. Hence the moment when the sun starts from the north to the south, you might have heard Dakshinayana and Uttarayana, the movement of the sun. So now it has started. What is that? The sun is moving in this southerly direction, Dakshinayana. You might have noticed in Mahabharata, Bhishma Pitamaha, he waited on the battlefield, though he could die any time. He waited for the Uttarayana, when the sun will move towards the north. That will be, the gods will wake up, and that is the path towards the heaven or Vaikuntha or higher up. This is towards the south, that is the Pitraloka or the Loka of Yama. So he didn't want to die during this Uttarayana, because he will go to this Pitru. He wanted to go to higher lokas. So he waited up to the Uttarayana, Sankranti. During Makara Sankramana, Sankranti, there is a festival. At that time, the sun will move towards north. So that is Uttarayana will start at that time, moving towards north. Now, the sun is moving towards south. The Pitru, the thing, now the sun transit from the north to the south. Celestial sphere is considered to begin a day of the ancestors. This moment is considered sacred, necessitating the performance of special religious rites. Most years, this transit occurs during Bhadrapada Masa Krishna Paksha. Now, Ganesha festival comes during Bhadrapada Masa. So the next Paksha or the next Shukla Paksha, the Krishna Paksha, is the Pitru Paksha, end of Bhadrapada. So hence, this Paksha has been designated as Pitru Paksha, and Hindus perform special religious rites during this entire period. In Hinduism, the souls of the three preceding generation, father, if he has passed away, their father, or the mother. So they stay up to the three generation from the father's side and the mother's side in the Pitraloka. Whatever's after that, according to their punya, the merits or demerits, Papa, they will either go to higher loka like heaven or Gandharva loka, Yaksha loka, or any other loka, or they will come down to the earth to be born. If our punya and Papa is 50-50, equal, then we have to come down to this earth, either to do good or bad. If you have done more Papa, bad deeds, then you have to go to the nether worlds, like animals, or we may get the life of the animals only to suffer there, our bad deeds. So this process goes on, up and down, the cycle goes on. So now, here, the Pitraloka realm between heaven and earth. Earth is Bhuloka, heaven is Saloka, in between is Bhur Bhuvaha Loka. In Gayatri, you tell the mantra Bhur Bhuvaha Swaha. Bhuhu is our plane of existence, Bhuvaha is Pitraloka, Swaha is Svargaloka. So this is Pitraloka. This realm is governed by Yamaraja. Yama, the god of death, who takes the soul of a dying man from earth to Pitraloka. Only those 3 generations are given Shraddha rites or Pinda, in which Yama plays a significant role. So in Pitrupaksha, prayers are offered to bring upon moksha. What happens if you give all this, do the charity, give them food and other things? Those people will get moksha, both for the ancestors and for the person who is performing the rituals. Now, Pitrupaksha increases the enjoyment of souls remaining in heaven before undergoing the rebirth, or mitigates. Suppose if you have done papa sins, it mitigates the suffering of those in the other worlds. In the case those souls took another birth immediately after their death, the Shraddha karma we do adds to their happiness in their new birth. That is the reason the descendants have to do Pitrupaksha, give them food, do the charity, so that it will help them wherever they are. According to now we shall, today is Mahalaya Amavasya. Why is it celebrated or why is it performed? There is one legend. What is that? You all know Karna in Mahabharata. The legendary Karna died in the Mahabharata war. After that, he went to this Pitruloka. There, he was getting gold, all the other things, rubies and other things, because he was a great donor. But he was not getting food if he was hungry. Nobody is giving him food. Then he went and asked Hema, why am I not getting food? He told, you have done a lot of charity of gold and cloth and other things, you are getting it. But you never performed Pitru Paksha, or you never offered Pinda, or did your work of doing this Pitru Yagna. So you are not getting food. I didn't know who my parents were. So how can I do that? Karna, when he was born, you know all that story, that mother of Karna, Kunti, she had a boon at the age of 30 from Durvasa Muni. He could foresee that in future, she's not going to get the children by the husband Pandu, because Pandu also had some curse. Now, so she had served Durvasa so nicely. So out of his compassion, he gave her mantra. In future, if you want to have children, tell this mantra and call one God. That God will come and give you child. Powerful as that God. Now she was so young and curious, small child, girl Kunti. So she, out of curiosity, wanted to test the mantra. She repeated that mantra. Then she saw sun glowing there brightly. Then she called sun. Sun God came down, gave a baby to her hand and went away. Now she is unmarried, such a small child. What will the society speak of her? What will happen? So, fearing that the criticism of the society, she put that into a small cradle or just like a boat and put it in Ganga. So that baby went on floating. It was taken by the charioteer who drove the charioteer, and he grew there. So he didn't know who his parents were. Karna didn't do the Pitru Paksha or offered the food. But even then, because he did not perform, when he died, he didn't get the food. Then Maharaj gave him permission during this period to come down to the earth back and do the Pitrupaksha or give food offerings to the ancestors. And then he went back. Then he started getting food. So if we don't do, we will not also get food when we die. So that happened during this period. So to remind us of this great thing, we should be grateful to our parents and do all these activities, the ceremonies. So this is the Mahalaya Amavasya. This legend of Karna is helpful. So now we have come to know this. But in this short time, whatever time we had, we have tried to understand a little significance of what is Pitrupaksha, what is Mahalaya Amavasya. And from today in Bengal, in a very grand way, now Matrupaksha will start, the Navaratri, Divine Mother worship will begin. They will wake up. You know that I told, now the gods are sleeping. It's the time of sleeping of God, 6 months. After that, Uttarayana, gods will wake up. So now, Ramachandra had to fight with Ravana. Without propitiating Mother Durga, he couldn't kill Ravana. So he woke up Mother Durga, though she was sleeping. So it's called Akala Bodhana. In Durga Puja in Bengal, they will do that Akala Bodhana. They will wake up Mother by singing, Mother, wake up, wake up. Mother is sleeping. So she will be woke up, and then he propitiated, Ramachandra propitiated. Then out of the grace of that mother, he could kill Ravana. So the 10th day he killed. And also the earlier legend is mother killed Mahishasura at the 10th day. After Navami, the Dashami, she killed. So that is Vijaya Dashami, victory. victory day. So we will deal all that thing afterwards. So today is the beginning. Now from today, all that new things will begin. The mother will be woken up. So in Bengal, they will start chanting Chandi, Devi Mahatmyam, and some songs to wake up. It's called Agamani Sangita. I think one of the Agamani Sangita, I think our devotees sang today. Amar Giri Ganesh Shubhakari, he sang. That is one of the Agamani Sangita. So on this special day, we will think how grateful we should be to our parents, our ancestors. Let us perform, keep up our traditions so that all our next generation also will learn all these things. You have to teach them and let our great culture of Hinduism, the Sanatana Dharma, prosper. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Tat Sat. Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.